Good morning and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Mornings with Luann and Tim. Are you well this morning?
I don't know. I kind of feel like I might be getting a little bit of a cold.
Oh, jeez, that's too bad. Suck it up.
This side when I swallow, and I've been blowing my nose a lot. So, but also I was working in the attic last night.
It's chilly up there, no?
Yeah, and probably also dust and stuff. So it could just be a little bit of my sinuses just clearing themselves
out. Let's go with that, my friend.
Okay, other than that, I'm feeling well.
Thank you to KC Security for sponsoring the show for us every morning. We appreciate it, you guys.
Thank you to KC Security for teaming up with the United Way. Our friend Mike Delfrey from Harvest Algoma. They are partnering, and they're going to have their Stuff a Cruiser going on. It's a food drive. They'll be at Metro Churchill Plaza this Saturday, December 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Non-perishable food items and toiletries. Drop those off to KC Security and the United Way if you're at Metro on Saturday.
Awesome.
Thank you, Casey.
So, Mr. Trump is very busy these days. He's at the conference talking with all the other world leaders. And in the newscast, please stay tuned because there's a clip of all of the world leaders, including Trudeau and Macron and the English Princess Anne
and Boris. What's his name?
Boris,
the guy. The new
UK
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister, yeah.
What's his name?
They're all sitting around talking about him behind his back.
It's about Trump.
Kind of funny.
It's very funny.
It's interesting to see how they take him as another world leader.
They don't
at all. So stay tuned. That's very, very interesting.
But did you watch any of it? Because every time somebody else sat down beside him, I saw him with Macron beside him. I saw him with Trudeau beside him.
He took shots at everybody. I mean, shots. Like he was just.
Trudeau sat back in disbelief.
Yeah, he was just. And at one point, I don't know if it's been pulled or not, but I saw a clip of Trudeau sitting beside Trump.
Yes.
And the camera was on Trudeau, and Trudeau just went like.
When he commented on Adam Schiff, and he said he is. I don't even know the vowels, the adjectives rather he used to describe Adam Schiff, but it was so hate-filled that Justin Trudeau actually rolled his eyes, touched his head, and turned away like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah.
And they just sat there in disbelief watching him say these things.
In front of the cameras and reporters, Trump asked Trudeau, "So, what's your number as far as military investment?" Because Trudeau thinks that nobody else is investing enough in the military worldwide, on a worldwide level.
To NATO.
Other than the United States of America. And he asked him like as if Trudeau knows that number,
It's now what the goal is 2%. The goal is 2% of your budget for military should go to NATO. Is that how it works? Something like that.
Something like that.
There's 2% is the magic number, but it's not written in stone. You're supposed to strive to contribute that much to NATO. And I guess Canada's falling short.
And a lot of countries are.
Yes.
It's very difficult.
So he's basically humiliating people in front of the press.
Come on over, sit beside me so I can make a fool out of you.
Then he also asked Macron, he said, in Syria we have captured ISIS. And he said the majority of the people, of the prisoners in Syria from ISIS are from Europe. He said from France, and he said, I haven't spoken to the president of France about this, so he's not here. He's hearing this for the first time, but many of those prisoners are from Europe, like places like England and France and Italy or whatever. And he said, and so then he turns to him and says on camera in front of everybody, do you want some ISIS?
Some nice ISIS fighters?
Do you want some nice ISIS fighters? I've got some for you if you want them. And Macron said, let's be serious about this. The number, yes, there are some European ISIS fighters, but they are the minority, small percentage of the prisoners. Most of them are from other countries. And he said, we need to be dealing with the ISIS that's still on the ground, not the ones that are locked up, trying to repatriate them. Let's focus on...
He is just too much. I don't know how people in his country can't be embarrassed. I don't understand it. And you know what? His base is solid as this table. I swear to goodness, there are polls that have been published that indicate that he is, running neck and neck with others, and it just blows my mind how people aren't more informed, or I don't know. It's good to be Canadian.
It is.
Speaking of Trump, he was asked recently if he knows Prince Andrew, because of course Prince Andrew is going through all of this stuff with the Epstein situation.
I just watched that BBC interview.
Yeah. Wasn't it awkward?
It was on a while ago, but I just watched it for the first time.
It was a place to stay.
That prince is not a good liar.
Right?
He lies poorly.
Yeah, so he says, Fox News is interviewing Trump and asked him, do you know Andrew? And he goes, no, I don't know Andrew at all. While he's saying, no, they pop up a picture of him with Andrew. It's like, really? Apparently, there were several occasions.
Andrew says,
earlier this year, even.
Andrew says in the interview, yes, there's pictures of me walking in the park with Mr. Epstein. I was walking with him to tell him that our friendship was over and I could no longer hang out with him. And then he spent 4 days in the house with them.
Probably not with him.
Yeah, right. Oh, well. Britain's come a long way, though. You must admit.
Go.
There they are. Look at that.
Yeah.
Britain's come a long way, Luann. In 1829, on this day in history, Britain outlawed sati in India, because India was a British colony at that time, right? In 1829. Sati is when a widow burns herself to death on her husband's funeral pyre.
Oh, good for Britain. You burn yourself to death?
You throw yourself on your husband's funeral pyre and you burn yourself to death. That's called sati.
That's called stupid.
That's
really. Girls.
You want to know?
Grip, girls.
You want to know stupid? Here's another one. On this day in 1961, the Museum of Modern Art, MoMA. Now you think they know their stuff, right?
Yeah.
You think that MoMA knows, especially when you get a Matisse, an original Matisse to hang in your gallery. The picture's called Le Bateau. In French means the boat.
The boat.
Mm-hmm. For 47 days, it hung upside down.
What? You're kidding me.
I'm not. They hung it upside down and didn't know.
Look at it. How would you know? It looks like a butterfly that's on its side.
It's the sail of a boat in the reflection of the water in the sky.
Oh, I see now. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, see.
I just think it looks like Jaws.
Well, to me, it's like if you have to explain what the
this
picture,
tied up.
You know, like, I mean, it's art because it's to each his own. But it's kind of like the Sault Ste. Marie City logo.
What did you do that for? What did you do that for?
Because
Josh Brolin, he tried the thing.
He tried the thing.
The leg up, perineum. That's how you say
perineum.
it. Perineum. No. Perineum. You taught me how to say it.
Yes, perineum.
Perineum.
Yes.
He tried it.
Who did? Josh Brolin?
Josh Brolin. You know, from Avengers Endgame, the actor. He's Barbra Streisand's stepson.
Stepson, yeah.
He tried it.
So handsome.
He tweeted, "My pucker hole is crazy burned." It ruined his Black Friday shopping plans. He couldn't go shopping with his family. He said he spent the day icing and using aloe and burn creams because of the pain. He put hashtag Black Hole Friday. hashtag Santa Monica Fire Department.
That's goofy. Okay, so now
how long did he spend out there in Santa Monica with his legs in the air?
Apparently,
it's supposed to be 30 seconds.
Apparently, it doesn't take too long though. In the pictures that Tim showed, in case you missed it, there were two men laying down with their legs up like this, sunning their perineum.
Their perineum.
And I wondered after we talked about that.
Did you wonder?
If you're on the heavier side, do you need
to
lift and separate? You must.
Oh dear.
No?
You'd have to move some junk, I think, depending on how old you are. Well, I mean, I'm tucking mine into my socks these days to keep them out of my way. Listen, that's enough of that.
That's enough of that. Tim, that's enough of that.
It's Wellness Wednesday. Let's stay well and safe on the ski slopes. I've got people from the Canadian Ski Patrol here.
Awesome.
Sault Ste. Marie area. And then we continue on with our interviews regarding the 16 days of activism for
against sexual assault.
Yes, against sexual assault and violence against women and gender-based violence. I have a really cool interview with Sergeant Derek McFarland talking about what happens when you go to the police station to report a sexual assault. So we've been it's a great show. Plus she has the news.
I do.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the folks from Jeff and Ken from the slopes. Be right back.
So you got to stick your feet
Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim. I've had a ski injury. I've been going down the hill, and now I'm lying on the slopes and I'm injured, and I need help. Help, Canadian Ski Patrol. Oh, look, who's here?
I'm Jeff from the Canadian Ski Patrol, and I'm trained in first aid. Can I help you?
Yes, you can.
Okay, and this is Ken. He's also trained.
You're the president.
Good morning, I'm the president.
Boy, you get good service from Canadian Ski Patrol here. You get the president and you get the safety officer.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Guys, what's happened? Something has happened, and I feel like I might have broken my ankle or sprained something. I'm injured.
So we're going
And I'm
to
lying on a ski hill.
we're going to take your boot off and check that ankle. Okay.
Oh boy.
So we're going to do it in a way
this could hurt.
that we're going to make sure that we keep your ankle real steady. So you watch how we
Okay,
do it
first
here.
of all, I don't like the fact that you're wearing those gloves because it reminds me of a different kind of medical.
Do you want to sit up so you can watch what we do?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Hi. Oh, hi.
that?
That's better.
Take you that injured ankle.
Okay.
Yes.
I got the
Because
leg.
ski boots are tight, right?
Yes, they are. Okay, I've got your leg
Look at
nice
you.
and steady.
You're holding my leg and Ken is unfolding it.
Are you ready?
Yep.
We're
Okay.
going to just take this off. Ready,
1,
Jeff?
2, 3, go. And I've got your
Just like
ankle,
that.
just like that, right? I can check it. No injuries. Your
How
foot's
do you know
good.
that?
Can
You're
you wiggle
trained.
your toes?
I can wiggle my
Yeah.
toes.
Can you feel that?
Yes,
And
I
now
can
I'm
feel
gonna-
all that.
Well, then looks like we're good to go.
Oh, I'm not as bad as I thought. Okay, wait a second. How do you know all this stuff, Jeff? You're trained. I'm getting off the table now. You're trained where? Who trains you guys?
What
We
president
have
has it?
our
Oh, here, have a chair,
own training. It's a national program we follow.
Yes.
We have our own training officer, a number of instructors.
You slide to the middle now. Jeff, you go there and
Okay.
I'll go here.
All right.
Oh, okay, so where do you do your training? Locally or do you go
We
away?
do it locally. New recruits have to go through 60 hours.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. It's a big commitment. 60 hours advanced first aid training.
Advanced. Yeah.
Sorry, and that's done locally.
It's done locally here in town, yes.
Who
And
trains
we're-
you?
We have our own instructors that
Okay.
are certified through the Canadian Ski Patrol.
Yeah.
Are you one of them?
Ken and I are both.
Yes,
You
we're
teach
both
the
with-
courses?
Yes.
Yes, along with you have
You
four
have to
other
teach
instructors.
60 hours of classes, you guys?
Well, when you spread out amongst all the patrollers or the examiners,
How many of you are there on the Canadian, because it's Sault Ste. Marie, how does it said? Canadian Ski Patrol, Sault Ste.
Ste.
Marie
Marie zone.
Zone.
Yes.
Okay. How many of you work in our zone?
we have 38 now this
you kidding
season.
me?
We had a wonderful recruit class. We brought in 15 new patrollers this year.
Yep.
So our numbers have really gone up. Across Canada, there's about 4,500 servicing 200 resorts.
Are you all volunteers?
We're all
We are.
volunteers.
Yep.
So nice of you. Okay, so
And we're always looking for more help.
Yes. So when you're ready,
when I'm ready to do my 60 hours of training,
that's right.
Absolutely.
do I have to be able to ski to be part of the ski patrol?
That you need to be able to do.
I can do that,
If
actually.
you're going to want to
I'm
patrol
actually a pretty good skier.
Yes, you
on
are.
the slopes and on the trails, if a person wants to be a member of our organization but not patrol, we do patrol Greyhound games at the GFL Center. We do
All the events at
Rotary
GFL.
Fest,
Hiawatha.
Ski-
Relay for Life. We do the Fall Rendezvous at Ermitinger. We provide
Year
first
round,
aid.
you guys-
We're a year-round organization now, yeah.
If you're a cross-country skier, you'll see us at Hiawatha.
So how do you do it? Do you have a schedule that you make up and you make sure that somebody is there kind of thing all the time,
People are
or do you get
rostered.
called in, or how does it work?
People are rostered. We have to have a number of patrollers out at Searchmont each weekend. During the week, they have a couple of our members that are paid staff to do the patrolling there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, also, this is a helmet, obviously, a ski
Yeah.
helmet. Is it a particular kind of helmet for skiing? Are there certain grades, certain things you have to look for?
It will be a certified approved helmet.
Certified approved.
And it's for safety. It's
and
to keep you safe.
is it fitting almost like, I know the rules for bicycle helmets. Is it like two
Yeah. If you fit it 2 fingers above the eyebrows.
fingers above the
here,
eyebrow, and then when you do your strap up, you should get 1 finger in, is that right?
That's correct.
So that's the same as a bicycle, I believe,
Yes.
bicycle
Yeah.
helmet.
Yeah.
Same kind of rules.
Yes.
Okay, this is very comfortable. This is very light. That's going to, you know, some of the ice on those ski hills, you could get some serious head injuries
That's
from
right.
those ice, from hitting the ice. If you smack your head on the ice, right?
Fall down, strike your head on the ice. run into a tree, perhaps, or
people have died skiing into trees, you guys. So you got to wear this
it's a very
helmet.
important
That's
piece of safety equipment. Absolutely.
what are these? You brought us some things, codes. What?
Yeah, we're big on safety too. We want to make sure we prevent as many injuries as possible, not just treat them, but prevent them.
So what you would call that? You would call that upstream education.
Yeah.
Teach them before they get hurt.
That's good.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Because basically, we're a leisure group.
uphill.
We don't want to have to work.
Yeah.
No.
We will when we have to.
No, you'd
but
rather
would
people be
you
safe. Yeah, you'd rather be safe. You just wave at them as they go by rather than help them. Yeah.
So we have our Alpine Responsibility Code, and we have our cross-country Responsibility Code.
For two different kinds of skiing,
That's
alpine and
right.
cross
And
country.
it's basically the same
What
thing.
kinds of
It's,
tips do
watch
we
out
have?
for other skiers. Make sure that you give other skiers enough room to get by you if they're faster skiers than you. Also, make sure that if the trail is marked closed, it's closed for a reason. Don't go in there.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes people go on those trails and they'll get. Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim. I've had a ski injury. I've been going down the hill and now I'm lying on the slopes and I'm injured and I need help. Help, Canadian Ski Patrol. Oh, look, who's here?
I'm Jeff from the Canadian Ski Patrol, and I'm trained in first aid. Can I help you?
Yes, you can.
Okay, and this is Ken. He's also trained.
You're the president.
Good morning, I'm the president.
Boy, you get good service from Canadian Ski Patrol here. You get the president and you get the safety officer.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Guys, what's happened? Something has happened, and I feel like I might have broken my ankle or sprained something. I'm injured.
So we're
and
gonna
I'm lying on a ski hill.
We're going to take your boot off and check that ankle. Okay.
Oh boy.
So we're going to do it in a way
this could hurt.
that we're going to make sure that we keep your ankle real steady. So you watch how we
Okay,
do it
first
here.
of all, I don't like the fact that you're wearing those gloves because it reminds me of a different kind of medical.
Do you want to sit up so you can watch what we do?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Hi. Oh, hi.
that.
That's better.
Take me with that injured ankle.
Okay.
Yes.
I got the
Because
leg.
ski boots are tight, right?
Yes, they are. Okay, I've got your leg nice
you.
and steady.
You're holding my leg and Ken is unfolding the.
Are you ready?
Yep.
We're
Okay.
going to just take this off. Ready,
1,
Jeff?
2, 3, go. And I've got your
Just like
ankle,
that.
just like that, right? I can check it. No injuries. Your
How
foot's
do you know
good.
that? You're
Can you wiggle
trained.
your toes?
I can wiggle my
Yeah.
toes.
Can you feel that?
Yes, I
And now
can
I'm
feel
gonna-
all that.
Well, then looks like we're good to go.
Oh, I'm not as bad as I thought. Okay, wait a second. How do you know all this stuff, Jeff? You're trained. I'm getting off the table now. You're trained where? Who trains you guys?
What the
We
president
have
has.
our
Oh, here, have a chair,
own training. It's a national program we follow.
Yes.
We have our own training officer, a number of instructors.
You slide to the middle now. Jeff, you go there and I'll go here. All right. Oh, okay, so where do you do your training? Locally or do you go
We
away?
do it locally. New recruits have to go through 60 hours.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. It's a big commitment. 60 hours advanced first aid training.
Advanced. Yeah.
Sorry, and that's done locally.
It's done locally here in town, yes.
Who
And we're
trains
doing
you?
so. We have our own instructors that
Okay.
are certified through the Canadian Ski Patrol.
Yeah.
Are you one of them?
Ken and I are both.
Yes,
You
we're
teach
both
the
with-
courses?
Yes.
Yes, along with we have
You have to
other
teach
instructors.
60 hours of classes, you guys?
Well, when you spread out amongst all the patrollers or the examiners.
How many of you are there on the Canadian, because it's Sault Ste. Marie, how does it said? Canadian Ski Patrol, Sault Ste.
Ste.
Marie
Marie zone. Yes.
Okay. How many of you work in our zone?
We have 38 now this
Are you kidding
season.
me?
We had a wonderful recruit class. We brought in 15 new patrollers this year.
Yep.
So our numbers have really gone up. Across Canada, there's about 4,500 servicing 200 resorts.
Are you all volunteers?
We're all
We are.
volunteers.
Yep.
So nice of you. Okay, so
And we're always looking for more help.
Yes. So when you're ready,
when I'm ready to do my 60 hours of training,
that's right.
Absolutely.
do I have to be able to ski to be part of the ski patrol?
That you need to be able to do.
I can do that,
If
actually.
you're going to want to
I'm
patrol
actually a pretty good skier.
Yes, you
on
are.
the slopes and on the trails, if a person wants to be a member of our organization but not patrol, we do patrol Greyhound games at the
Okay, we don't like these things. Okay, so stop yours. We're going to get rid of these. We're going to put them in Ziploc bags. And the reason we're doing this is because Keith says that I don't know how to use a Ziploc bag properly. He said,
Shall I
bring
go?
a Ziploc bag. Well, let's do it at the same time. Hang on.
Okay.
So Keith said, bring in a Ziploc bag and just ask Luann to do it at the same time that you do it and show her how stupid you are. That's basically what he said to me. is what
Okay,
he
let's
wants
see
to-
this. I like it when you look stupid.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm
do
all
your
set.
Ziploc bag.
Okay.
Okay, so how did you do yours? Did you go zip right across?
Yes.
See, I start. You think Audrey thinks it's funny? This is how I do my
What
Ziploc
did you
bag.
do?
I start on the outsides, and I
Yes.
pinchy,
Oh, well, what's
pinchy,
the
all the
point
way to
of-
the middle,
That takes way
and then
too
I go.
long. But now you also have way too much air in there. If you're putting something in the freezer, you're going to get freezer burn on that. So look at mine, how nice and tight. See?
I don't. Okay, so apparently Keith is right. I do.
Apparently Keith is always right.
These
Thank
things
you,
are going to
Keith.
suffocate now, and they're going to die in there.
No, they're not.
Never have to listen to them again. Are we done? We have to go.
Thank you, Keith, for the prop.
We're going to do the news now, Luann.
Oh, right, the news. I have to be serious.
And then when we come back, I've got this great interview with Sergeant Derek McFarland.
Yes, this is
Oh no,
good.
there's a banter after the news. Okay, do the news and then we'll chat again.
Hi everyone, it's Jenna again from Women in Crisis. Thank you to everyone who's been following us as we have been presenting these roses to 9 incredible women in this community on our 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which is a time to take action to end violence against women and girls around the world. 16 days, 16 women, 16 bouquet of roses. We at Women in Crisis, with the help of Superior Media, want to shine the light on the incredible actions of individuals in this community who are working to end violence against women. The roses that are being presented over these 16 days are in memory of the 14 women who lost their lives on December 6, 1989, and in honor of all women who have died or endured gender-based violence. Today, we present these roses to Nancy Milosevic. We are here with Nancy. Nancy, thank you so much for meeting us here at the Public Library. You have been nominated by a member of our community for your strength, your courage, your work and passion towards ending violence against women. Specifically, you have been nominated for always teaching future generations to be strong, to be independent, and talking about what healthy relationships should consist of. So thank you for being a shining light in this community.
Thank you so much. I'm honored that someone would think so highly of me. I've used Women in Crisis resources before, and I encourage anyone who needs any of those resources to come forward, give them a call, they'll help out.
Well, thank you so much. Nancy is one of many who are working hard to end violence against women. Stay with us over the next few days as we continue to highlight those who are shining the light in this community. How can you help? Visit womenincrisis.ca. Ending violence against women starts with you.
Thousands of Ontario public high school teachers are off the job today for a one-day strike after failing to reach a contract with the province. The Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation confirmed the job action, with hundreds of schools shutting their doors for the day. Harvey Bischoff, who's the president of the federation, said the Ford government did not put forward any constructive proposals through the negotiation process. Last night, Education Minister Stephen Lecce asked the union to remain at the bargaining table, which they are. The teachers are already conducting a work to rule campaign and say they're pushing back against government plans to increase class sizes and introduce mandatory e-learning courses. Teachers will be back in class tomorrow. Forests Ontario has planted over 150,000 trees in the Algoma district. Echo Bay farmer Trent Massey says forests are vital to everyone, from hikers to hunters, and he's pleased that the Government of Canada is supporting tree planting on private land in Ontario. Massey worked with Forests Ontario to plant 5,500 trees on 7 acres of his 30-acre farm. Forests Ontario has announced new support for its 50 million tree program, a large-scale tree planting program that cuts planting costs for property owners. Under the new criteria, property owners with room to plant a minimum of 500 trees can apply. The revised program creates more opportunity for urban and suburban tree planting. Massey said the success rate for his trees is about 85%. Massey, who also grows hay on his farm to feed his horses, said the trees have attracted many more birds to his farm. He's seen more eastern wood peewees, sharp-tailed grouse, and pheasants, along with chickadees, kinglets, and sparrows. Beginning in 2008, Forests Ontario has facilitated the planting of more than 29 million trees. Forests Ontario has planted over 150,000 trees since 2008 in Algoma. In April of 2019, the Government of Ontario cancelled funding for the 50 MTP. In response, public support for tree planting came quickly. The media wrote hundreds of articles about the 50 MTP cancellation, and nearly 100,000 people signed a petition in support of Forests Ontario's tree planting efforts. In June, the Government of Canada committed up to $15 million over 4 years towards the program. NATO leaders appear to be discussing U.S. President Donald Trump during a reception at Buckingham Palace yesterday. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was heard telling leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, that he was late because he takes a 40-minute press conference off the top. Trudeau also said, "You just watched his team's jaws drop to the floor." Trudeau and Trump met earlier yesterday. The U.S. president bantered with reporters for more than 2 hours, sitting casually in a salon of Winfield House. That's the manicured estate of the U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom, where he also met with fellow NATO leaders. The chief of Grassy Narrows First Nation is accusing the Liberals of stalling on a treatment center for residents with mercury poisoning and is calling for a less paternalistic approach from the feds. Chief Rudy Turtle was joined by the Assembly of First Nations National Chief Perry Bellegarde, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, and elders and youth from the community in Ottawa yesterday, all calling on the Liberal government to stop the delays in getting the centre built in the First Nation in Northern Ontario.
Big human right. It's something that we take for granted here in Ottawa. In cities like Ottawa and those across Canada, we take it for granted. But in Grassy Narrows, a community surrounded by beautiful lakes and rivers, the people of that community continue to live with mercury poisoning. The Liberal government has promised to do something, and they are dragging their feet. And I'm here to add my voice to the powerful voices you've already heard from, and to say that I will be an ally. I will use my position in the House to push for this, alongside the incredible voices that you've heard for and the community activists. I'm going to stand in solidarity.
Police say 2 of the 4 teens who escaped a Tennessee juvenile detention center have been captured. The Metro Nashville Police Department tweeted late yesterday that Decorius Wright and Calvin House were apprehended just northeast of Nashville.
Acting on very strong information that one of our juvenile crime task force officers had obtained, we responded to the apartments at Forest Park Drive. We had what we believed to be strong information that Mr. Howes and Mr. Wright were going to be in that area, and that information came to be true once we arrived on scene. We had gang unit detectives saturate that area. They quickly were able to locate both youth in the parking area of that complex. Once gang unit detectives identified themselves as law enforcement officers, both youth attempted to flee on foot. They were quickly apprehended after a brief foot pursuit, though.
Do you remember the movie Ghost?
Absolutely.
That
Patrick Swayze.
That haircut Demi Moore had.
Okay, that I don't really remember. She had a haircut?
A little pixie cut.
Okay.
So cute.
Cute.
Her daughter, Tallulah, just got her hair cut the exact same way. Just to, honor her mom.
Is Tallulah the one who can sing? One of them can sing. One of those girls can sing.
The other one that's not Tallulah.
Okay.
Rumor.
Rumor can sing and dance.
Can she?
I think Rumor was on
seemingly-
Rumor was on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, yes. Seemingly has legs up to her armpits.
Yeah.
It's like
I love the name
unbelievable.
Tallulah.
Do you?
Yeah, Tallulah Bankhead. Remember her
Yeah,
name?
yeah.
Yes. Darling. Tallulah, darling. Tallulah Bankhead was a famous
Tallulah's
actor,
too
darling.
busy. Lou works.
Lou.
Tallulah.
Tallulah. Hey, there, they call her Lou.
There you go.
I think she was a lesbian.
Kelly Clarkson has her talk show.
Yes, she
and
does.
she does something called, and she calls it Kellyoke. Very cute. So she redoes songs. And yesterday on her show, she opened the show, she redid Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Kelly did?
Yes, and it was so lovely. If you can, you should
Won't
find
you
it.
be my neighbor? Kelly sang that?
Yes, very almost jazzy, not really jazzy because I don't like jazz, but like very.
You don't like jazz?
I hate jazz. Jazz is too whatever I feel like
I don't think we can
doing.
be friends anymore.
Awesome. Whew, is that all it takes?
You dodged that bullet.
Well, you can't. I don't like jazz, and you can't do a baggy, so.
And country and western is not my thing.
No country and western certainly isn't your thing, Tim.
Katy Perry is not my thing, or as I
Katy
call
Perry.
her, Katy Perry. She's at it again, folks. She has a new song out called Cozy Little Christmas. She just dropped the music video. So I watched it, and I just saw a 39-second clip, and in the first 5 seconds, she did that thing where she puts the emphasis on the wrong syllable to make her lyrics fit because she can't write a proper song. Take the day off, get a massage. Massage, Katie. Get a massage, Katy Perry. She also sings warming up the popsicle toes, and she gives the last part of popsicle 2 syllables. Warming up the popsicle toes. Popsicle. Stop it, Katie. You can't write a song. And she's getting a massage.
And then so is Santa.
So yeah, she's getting a massage, and you see the crack of her bum.
Do you?
Yes, you do.
Really?
Katy Perry's got a crack problem.
She should call upon her.
She looks freaking awesome.
She does. She's a stunning,
She wears
stunning
more
woman.
wigs in that music video than I have in my
Wow,
closet.
right? And there's a Santa there that's very, very realistic
Getting a massage.
with the big belly.
Take
and
the day off. Get a massage. Anyway.
Now that's going to be stuck in everyone's head
Are we
now.
supposed to go on now?
Massage.
Massage. Katy Perry. Katy
Yes.
Perry. Okay.
Introduce the next
I've
segment.
already done it several times. Okay, so
Segment.
16 days of activism. It's coming to an end, actually.
Yes.
Next week, next Tuesday is the last day. Anyway, so we've done a bunch of interviews talking about violence against women, about gender-based violence. And so in this next interview, I just wanted to have an officer talk us through what happens when a sexual assault victim reports at the police station. So Derek McFarland was amazing, and he shared great information
Awesome.
with us. So that's up after this break. Welcome back to Mornings with Lou Ann and Tim, and continuing on with our 16 days of activism. Joining me now from the Sault Ste. Marie Police Services, this is Sergeant Derek McFarlane. Derek, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
So, as I mentioned to you before we came to air, what I'm really looking for with this series is just to sort of take away some of the stigma or even some of the fear a victim might have about reporting an incident, whether it's domestic violence or sexual assault. So I was hoping you might give us a little bit of insight as to what happens when somebody actually reports at the police station or calls the police and to report an assault or an incident of domestic violence. Can you just talk me through what might happen if I come to the police station and say I need to talk to an officer?
The first step would be to go and talk to a uniform officer. Okay, so when the victim comes into the police station, they're going to be greeted by a uniform officer.
Okay.
If a detective is available, immediately they will be assigned to the case.
Okay.
And if they're not immediately available, what will happen is the uniform officer will take down the report and they will file the report, and that report will then be shipped over to the detective office for follow-up.
For follow-up, okay. So when this is happening at the police station, is there a particular room that you go to, or is it just a general room where you have privacy and you sit with the either whether it's a detective or whether it's a uniformed officer?
No, it'll be in an interview room. It'll be private, secluded from the general public.
Okay.
We want to keep the integrity of the victim, right, and basically keep her or keep them
her or him or whomever.
Exactly. Yes. Out of the public light, right? And so we will put them in an interview room and conduct the interview, whether it's written from the uniform officer, and then after that it will be shipped over to the detective office.
Okay. And if a detective is available right at that time, is there a video component to the interview if it's a detective, or is it all only just written the first time around?
If a detective is available right off the bat, what they'll do is they'll meet with the victim.
Okay.
And what they will do is they'll go over different options with the victim.
Ah, okay.
And this isn't on camera. This is just a meeting with the victim
to sort of gauge where the victim is at.
That's right.
I guess, eh?
And they will go over basically 3 options with the victim. Mm-hmm. It's very important to keep the victim in the know of what is going to happen.
Okay, and what their options are.
That's right, and give them the choices on how they want to proceed with the investigation.
It's important for the victim to feel that they are in control. Is that right, Derek?
Absolutely. So the first option might be the victim just wants to tell their side of the story.
Needs to get, yeah.
That's right. Get the story, and the detective would take a video interview and file it at the police station, with the understanding that there's no criminal charges.
So the option 1 is just to give the statement and not pursue charges at that time.
That's correct.
That's option 1. Okay.
Option 2 is the victim would give a video interview, but they would like the suspect also interviewed.
To be informed that there's been a report.
That's right. So what the detective would do would be to interview the victim. After the interview, they would reach out to the suspect.
Okay.
And attempt to have the suspect attend the police station as well to do an interview.
Okay.
And this would be a caution interview because it's they're a suspect.
Yet.
That's right. So they don't have to come in and speak to us.
The accused does not have to come in.
That's correct.
But they're aware.
That's right, that there is a police investigation going on.
An ongoing investigation.
Once again, with the direct or the guidance from the victim to saying, I don't want to pursue criminal charges.
So it's still up to the victim at that time.
That's correct.
Even though the accused has been notified that there is an ongoing investigation, still no charges yet.
That's correct.
Just an investigation.
That's correct.
Okay, and then option 3.
Option 3 is the victim wants to proceed with criminal charges.
Okay.
And they understand that they're going to have to go and testify in court.
Now, there's always option 3 is still on the table, even if you opt for option 1 to begin with. Am I right? So I could come in and I could say, I want to file a report but no charges. At a later date, you've got that report, it sits with you. After I've had some time to think, or maybe things change in my life and I decide further down the line, I do want to go ahead. Absolutely. I have that option?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because when someone is involved in a traumatic state, obviously, that's interesting too. In one of the interviews I conducted that I believe were airing as part of this series, I remember hearing that oftentimes the police will encourage a victim to take some time, take 48, 72 hours, to allow that trauma to sort of settle or whatever, to get them to come back and get it. Because sometimes you think, let's strike while the iron's hot, let's get that statement. But that's not always the case, right?
That's correct. The trauma-informed interview process, and that's what we're learning. It's basically, they just went through a traumatic event. Give them 2 days, 3 days. It's up to them.
Right.
Let them go home, keep in contact with the police. And when they're ready to come in and give an interview, then come on back and give an interview.
Right.
The old method was, let's get the interview right now while it's fresh in their head.
And surprisingly, sometimes the trauma blocks.
That's correct. Absolutely.
And if things will come clearer after some time when they've had it. Let's talk about feeling safe, because that's a huge part of somebody who's in a traumatic state. After I'm finished talking to a police officer, whether it's a detective or a uniformed officer, what's the next step for me? If I'm not feeling safe yet, if I'm not ready to go home, I don't want to be alone, what kinds of stuff can the police do for me? How can you help me?
There's so many resources out there that we offer to the victims. And one of them is, absolutely, if you come up to the police station, come up with somebody. Don't come up by yourself if you don't want to, just for that support. After the interview, if they don't want to go back, we will go to Women in Crisis. We will suggest them.
You will help them with those resources and say, we have a place you can go to
absolutely.
feel safe. What if they say they feel like they might want to go to the hospital? Would you accompany
absolutely.
them? We would do that too.
We would take them anywhere they want to go. And that just doesn't end after today.
No.
So maybe they don't want to speak to victim services right now.
Okay.
But tomorrow they do. They could call us back tomorrow, and we will get them the services that they want.
Because you work in tandem with victim services. You can call them if the person wants.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Now, let's say down the line, I decide that I want to pursue charges. I have them right away. I get in touch with you, and then we go through the process of sitting down with a detective again, and we revisit it? Or?
Yeah, the detective that was initially signed is the investigating officer, and is assigned permanently to that case. So because we don't want to re-traumatize the victim and shuffle them around from police officer to police officer, so we try and have that bond between the victim and the detective.
Okay, excellent.
So if they have any questions, they can call that one detective at any time.
Right, they develop a relationship with them, really.
That's correct.
Yeah. And then finally, are there any sort of misconceptions that you think maybe the public has about what happens or the process? Or do you think there's anything that people don't really understand about the process? Or is there a message you'd like to share with anybody who out there who may be watching, who may be a victim, who's afraid to come forward for whatever reason, or what?
No, absolutely. We will do whatever we can to make the process as easy and less traumatizing on the victim.
Right.
We understand. We want to give them dignity, respect, and make them aware that they're in control of the investigation.
Okay.
And that they tell us what to do.
Okay.
It's very important that they understand that. But I also want to clarify one point.
Oh, yes. We talked about this in advance. This is important.
This is very important. These three options that I talked about, in a domestic situation, the police are mandated
by the province
that we must lay criminal charges if there's evidence of domestic abuse, sexual abuse. We have no choice.
That relationship can be ongoing or past, is that right?
That's correct. It could be present or past.
So if I have been assaulted by someone that I previously was involved with in a relationship, and I come to you and I say, that's considered a domestic, and therefore you do have to lay charges?
That's correct.
So, okay.
But we make sure the victim is well aware of that. We don't want any surprises to the victim. We don't want them to think that they're coming in and they don't think that there's charges, and then all of a sudden we turn around and say, well, we have to.
You make it clear before they say anything on the record, you make it clear that if it's a domestic, you are, by law, mandated to pursue.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Derek.
Thank you.
Sergeant McFarland, thank you very much for your time. And once again, it's the 16 Days of Activism, and if you want to find out more, you can contact any of the agencies in town, Women in Crisis, NIMKI, the Sault Ste. Marie Police Services. If you have any questions, just reach out to somebody. They're there to help, right?
That's right.
To serve and protect. We'll be back with more Monica Lewin and Tim after this. for tuning in on this Wellness Wednesday, and congratulations to Carol Robinson. Carol is the winner of the 2 tickets, I think it was 2, to Mambo Italiano.
Congrats.
Yes, Sioux Theatre Workshop's putting Mambo Italiano on this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 o'clock matinee, Sunday, and don't forget Cats opens tonight too at the Kiwanis, the Sioux Community Theatre Center. Busy theater week, Luann.
Busy theater week. You gonna come back and do this tomorrow?
Absolutely 100%. You?
Absolutely 110%.
She's always got to top me.
And it's so easy. Have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Stay well.